As I'm heading back to base here, I did unlock a new officer that I wanted to take a look at, and that is Pic Hugh. We finally got him unlocked through the NX-01 refinery. Does not have a captain's ability. Officer ability here increases the amount of materials while mining. So similar to those researches that we have also in the X-Borg tree, he does this as well. So if you're going to be mining something and you're not necessarily worried about speed or cargo space, you could throw him on there to get yourself an extra boost. So if you're mining a node that has a million resources on it, when you're done and you move off the node, instead of having a million resources in your cargo hold, you'll have 1,050,000. I don't know that this is an overly useful ability, but it's for him. It's more of his below deck ability. He has the same ability that those X-Borg emergency repairs have here. At the beginning of each round of combat, Hugh repairs 5% of hull damage taken in the previous rounds of combat. As you level him up, this increases all the way up to 35% at rank 5. Now, there was a strategy going around that people were talking about when he was released as it relates to the NX-01, because there are X-Borg favors that you've got here. So you've got your let's find them. Explorer Emergency Protocol. Beginning of each round, if you're on an Explorer and you've got morale and you have this leveled up, there's 20%. If you have Hugh maxed, that's 35%, so there's 55% of your damage. And the NX-01 has its own separate repair one down here. NX-01 repairs. When you're fighting the aquatic hostiles with the NX-01, beginning of each round, you repair a percentage of damage here. And if you have this maxed, that's another 25%. So we're talking 55, 60, 70, 80. And I feel like there is another one for this as well that could actually get you all the way to a full 100% repair. So that way you would basically never take any, whatever damage, you're taking damage in the first round of the fight. If you kill it, great, you haven't hit your repair yet. If you get to round 2, hey, you just repaired all that damage, or most of that damage, um, if not all of it. And then you basically, the only damage you're taking in a fight is from the round that you killed it. So if it shoots you once, you shoot it once, it dies. You haven't repaired that one shot of damage yet from that round. So it is certainly possible with the NX-01 to go out there and just farm for hours and hours and just keep repairing all the damage. You do have to have morale to trigger it, so you have to spend a below deck slot on Harry Kim. But depending on what tier you've gotten your ship up to, you might be able to pull that off. But even without doing all that, you can still have some value from him. Voltron says, with a lot of folks using Hugh and Torres and Chapel below decks, you're going to need a ship with a lot of slots to get him into the conversation. Yes, you definitely are. He's probably not an everyday officer. But if you're going to be doing specific types of farming and things, you can get some value out of him. And that's what I wanted to look at here. If we're going to go kill some NX-01 hostiles, let's just take our NX-01 here. Mine's tier 7. Few upgrades done. We still have a little bit ways to go. And do I have enough parts to take it? 17. I won't have enough epics most likely. Yeah, I probably could tier this up another tier, but let's just leave it like where it is for now. And let's look at some of these officers. So, all right, we are going to take, I want data. being repaired. All right, we'll come back for him in a minute. I want Harrison. And I want Pike. And I need to get data. Below deck, I'm going to need a Harry Kim. Now, what is my Harry Kim? He's low, isn't he? It's only a 30% chance, so that's not the greatest. We don't like that. So now I'm wondering, do I need Kirk to make sure I can really trigger morale? Where did Hugh go? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. I don't need Dezok for this. I need to go get data, though. Speed up that repair. We're going to put data there. And I'm going to borrow Hugh as well instead of Neelix. Probably want to take her. What's Boimler doing for me again? He's boosting my mitigation stats. Yeah, that'll help keep the damage down too, I guess. Although conception, because Harry Kim isn't high enough. If Harry Kim was higher, I'd feel a little better about this, but getting some of these officers upgraded, not the easiest thing to do for sure. But let's just say hypothetically, now we're not going to survive against a go-home cannon. That's just not going to happen. But if you wanted to go farm, say, interceptors, instead of just doing your one big shot, right, going to hit with your punch-up crew, going to hit a 57 or what's the case. Let's go grab that chart real quick. Charts index NX01. So you've got your big punch-up crew, which we all know about, right? So if I wanted to go hit like a 57, which is kind of what I could get and reach and kill with this crew, I could get 3 million off of one of these battleships. Well, if I can take this crew and I can go just kill smaller ships, and I can farm a bunch of interceptors in, I don't know, let's go to a 53, let's go to a 51 system. Let's just see what we're getting. Actually, I can actually just look it up. Let's just see where we're at. Hostiles, Zindi Aquatic, like the 51s, their base loot, as far as tech modules, is about 30,000. So if I kill 100 of them, we're coming up even here in terms of loot. Now, obviously, there are loot bonuses and things like that that'll lower that number significantly. So maybe it's only 40 or 50, and if I put the Doctor below deck too, you know, I could probably also kill more. Let's do it. Let's throw the Doctor below deck as well, because I don't necessarily need Boimler there. If I'm going to be repairing some of the damage from Hugh anyway, I'm not overly concerned about how hard I get hit. And if we go look at, say, the 53s, they drop in the 40,000 range. So let's go try and kill some 53s. And let's see if we can kill some 53 interceptors for our troubles here. While we wait for them to fly out, let's take some questions from the chat. Deathkill asks, any other way to get the 5th Fleet Commander slot other than paying? No, it is 100% pay only. So if you want your 5th Fleet Commander, that'll cost you $100. And is it even for sale yet? Did they add it for sale yet? Fleet Commanders. Unlocks, upgrades, Sloan. Did I miss it? It may not even be for sale yet. Oh, there it is. I missed it. It's $100. Yeah. Oh, it's also Star Trek Day. We have some other bundles for sale. You can get the rest of your Shakedown crew for $20 if you want. If you don't have Leslie and you want to do an X01 punch-up ability, there you go. You can also get him unlocked through Crucible of War chests, and the Elite Federation Recruit Pack has Leslie and Hendorf in them. If you want Darwin and Hadley, the only way to get them is by buying this pack. They are not sourced any other way. However, you'll notice the amount of shards you get right here is already enough to unlock them and tier them up pretty significantly, so you don't ever really need to source them any other way other than just buying them. The other things that they're selling, well, you can get a Pike Moreau Chen bundle right here for $50. It's a full unlock of Pike and Moreau and a couple of Chen shards just thrown in for the hell of it. You've got a Voyager Officer Special, which is enough for an unlock of each of your 3 below deck officers that trigger morale, burning, and hull breach, respectively. If you have them unlocked, this could get you slightly closer to upgrading them, but you're still pretty far away. And then we have our new Lower Decks PvP bundle here for $100. You get 20 shards of each of the additional Lower Deck officers that were added who work in the different strike teams and below decks to help mitigate isolytic damage here. Your isolytic defense getting a boost. Can you buy the new artifacts yet? I don't see them for sale in the store. I don't think there will probably be an event tied to buying them, so I assume that will come out middle of this week. We'll probably see that along with that event if you're so inclined to make that purchase. All right, let's find out. Can I even kill one of these things? All right, so we did. And how much damage did we take for our trouble? Oh, we took a pretty big chunk of damage. But I got 172,000. So if I killed 10 of these things, it would be the same as trying to do a punch-up. But how long did this fight go? These things are pretty big. Might not be the most efficient crew to use for this. Maybe I would want something that... Maybe I wouldn't want Harrison in here. Maybe I would want, like, Moreau. 15-round fight. Yeah, so Harrison not going to work and do a whole lot for me. Might want to have Moreau instead. So we'll just finish these guys up, and then we'll come back and try something a little different. In the meantime, let's at least send the disco out here. Let's put Grush on it. So I don't have to waste all that time flying. I'll just summon out here when I'm ready. Let's look at those battle logs real quick. All right. Maybe I might want Kirk to make sure I'm triggering morale. Because my Harry Kim, no good. So we're doing decent damage. Start a round 2. So between the favor I have, I got back a little bit. I got back 4 million. Well, how much damage did we take? Well, that was a 40 million crit, which did 16 million to the hull, plus we got a few other shots in here. So I probably took... That's about a million... 17.5 million hull damage. I repaired 4 million of it from these guys' abilities. And the first round is the one where you are going to take the bulk of the damage. So here Harry Kim is triggering. But yeah, it's really more of the first round where you really want that damage repaired. So I think we're going to try instead of wasting time with Harrison, who's not doing a whole lot for me who does nothing for me after round one. What if we just put Kirk there? Get that morale right off the bat. Kind of make sure I repair a huge chunk of that turn one damage. Because again, that's where most of the damage is coming from, is that turn one situation here. So we're going to warp out. We're going to try a couple of these again just to see if it makes a difference at all. Because we should be getting... Oh, I also want to upgrade this ability too, don't I? Explorer Protocol, Emergency Repairs. Yeah, this one's low. So we just took that up. Now we're up to 9%. Now we're up to 12%. Let's use these, take it all the way. Why not? All right, so now we're up to 20%. We're going to get back 20% of the damage for having morale. I've got the NX-01 ability down here as well. That's this one, which also takes epics to upgrade. At 14%, so I'm getting 34% back from that. And then another 5% back from Hugh, so I'm getting almost 40% of the damage that they're going to deal, as long as I have morale. Oh, shoot. Did you not jump where you were supposed to? Nope, you sure didn't. Awesome. Which means I just wasted a summon and summoned him to the not far enough. And here I thought it was just a visual display error. Belair's asking, your NX is tier 5 and it's got warp range 1200. Is it worth continuing to tier it up? Yeah, you're not tiering the ship up necessarily for the warp range. I mean, obviously you do need higher warp range to get to some of these systems. Obviously you can reach them at tier 1200. You can get to all of these. These are only 1,000. But having higher tiers means you're doing more damage. You've got more hull output, so you can do higher level targets in this loop. So I would think it makes sense to keep upgrading it. You don't need to upgrade the warp range anymore. You're above your max capacity of what you need. I don't put stamets on the disco. I don't care about the cost. I have like 500,000 disco juice and I rarely summon. Yes, if you want to do that, you'd put Culver and Stamets on there. Stamets is most likely on an away team mission too, because he's one of the few people with inventor skill. Alright, so that went a little bit better, but still not great. We're still taking a lot of damage. Fight down to 14 rounds. Kirk's inspiring morale, which is awesome. And so did Harry Kim. So Kirk gave me morale, so this time around I got 7 million hull health restored. But the fight's still going too long, because these guys are probably too big for where I'm at. So let's go down to the 51s. Punch-up crew, probably still more efficient. You're taking your chances. There might be a couple times where you just don't get anything. But if you're thinking about, like, I have to do my field training, which requires me to kill a whole bunch of Zindi hostiles, and I don't want to just punch up. I want to actually get some loot and some progress. This combination with Hugh and morale and things like that could certainly let you get a bunch of kills. The aquatic battleships, it says that hostiles must be over level 40. That's incorrect. They have to be at least level 40. You can kill the level 40s and you can just go farm down here, and we can use that crew, and we can just farm in here and get 15 points apiece, farm in level 40s with Pike, Data, and Harrison, and killing them all in the first round beforehand, but we're not getting very much loot. We're getting some of the chips and things like that, but we're not getting some of the other refinery loot per se. So I wanted to see if there was a way to, just so you didn't have to keep always using the Leslie punch-up crew, if this new Hugh option would let you kind of stay out here and do some of this farming. Let's go. Let's go here. Let's go tight. Let's go try the 51s a little bit and see if that works better. Also, let's remember this number. 5452. I could swap out Harry Kim, you're right. These guys are a little smaller. I could put Chapel to get more damage. I could put Paris to get some more mitigation. We'll check out the numbers in a second. We're trying just to do proof of concept first before we start trying to maximize its effectiveness. And here we are killing 51s, and we're getting, 100k a piece per kill. Still not great. I don't think I'd want to go down any lower than this, because then you're in the 40s and you're getting much lower numbers. Got the fight down to 10 rounds. They are doing 500, about 12.5 million hull damage now, because Kirk's giving me morale. I'm restoring about 5 million of it, so we're getting pretty decently through. And obviously, as you level up Pic Hugh, those numbers will get higher. So this isn't bad. It's not bad. We'll see if we can't optimize it and make it a little better. Silver Cheetah, thank you very much for the follow. Good morning and welcome on into our channel. Yeah, we're getting 600, 700k. Which actually, I guess I did need. So let's grab that. And let's do some chests. Yeah. Since Harry Kim is too low, we are going to need Kirk, which then means, well, let's look at our mitigation. Whoops, just closed Twitch. I hate when I do that. Please hold. Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line. Let's go look at what our actual mitigation was. Because we do have the triangle in our favor here. It's not great. I can see that right now. Oops. 60%. So we're giving up an extra 10%, 11% in damage potentially that we could by adding some additional mitigation. So if we take Harry Kim out, we could use Paris, we could use Boimler to boost mitigation stats. Either one should be enough to cover the distance, depending on tiering and things like that. 300% of my defense. My defense stat is pretty decent. Or I could have Boimler, who's just given me a flat 108%. Paris is probably going to give a higher number. So let's put Paris there. Nope, you're not Tom Paris. Bat, you're still about 60 days from getting the NX-01. Okay. You've been using your valid door, just getting some scraps. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously for the second half of that mechanic. You have to have the NX-01. You got to take it into the aquatic systems, which is the only ship that you can use to kill the aquatics, to get the additional secondary material for the secondary refinery. And we're just sort of trying to see if there's, other than just, using the punch-up crew, if you don't want to take your chances of, or have that bad RNG where, you hit 2 or 3 times and it killed you in round one every time, which is always a possibility. We've seen it happen before. People have done 5 or 6 times and they're like, great, I'm out of tokens and I don't have enough for a refinery. I guess I'm going to be here for a few days. It's like, well, especially again, if you wanted to do your field training, which I forgot to write down the number for. $54.87. That went better. 54.87. 54.92. So these are worth 5 points apiece. So the interceptors are worth 5 points apiece. So I need 5,000 points. So I'd have to kill 1,000 of these interceptors to finish up this field training. Again, probably still not the most ideal option. But let's also look at, are we mitigating better now? Yeah. Pretty decent uptick there. Where's my calculator? 621. Now we're getting to max mitigation. So now we're mitigating more damage right off the top. So we're taking 400, 550, 650. And instead of taking 12.5 million, we're only taking 9.5 million. So we're saving a considerable amount. And then obviously we're healing it based on that here. So we do get to stay out there longer and kill more of these 51s. But in terms of trying to grind out field training and things like that, you're going to need Hugh up to a higher level. You're going to need some of the other stuff higher level. You're going to need Harry Kim to a higher level. So it's a whole big crew and process. And by the time you probably get those people where you need them to be, you'll probably no longer be doing this mechanic. There'll probably be an X-Borg bundle that you can just opt out of doing a lot of this stuff with. But for the meantime, for the interim time, here are at least some options and strategies and the value that you're getting by doing this kind of stuff. And then, of course, we do get more in the loot boxes and stuff here, too. We got a little more tech modules and stuff there. But I still think it's probably more efficient if you're capable of doing this. You just go kill the 40s. $55.22. And maybe we'll just go kill a battleship. Hopefully I can take this in one round. Sometimes you need a Titan buff. Sometimes you need a max fortification, again, depending on the tiers of your officers and the tier of your ship. I think I can do it in round 1 without a Titan buff, but I guess I'm wrong because I'm dead and he's got a sliver of health left. We came up just short. So it hit me with the go home cannon. We needed to kill it ahead of time. But again, if you're killing it in round 1, you don't need Hugh. So I don't need him there anymore either. We can take you off. We would want Balana for the hull breach. We throw a Titan buff. Sometimes you need the max fortification for the extra shots. Sometimes you can get by without that. So Chapel's an option too, depending on what tier she is. Mine is not as high tiered as other people's. Where's that damaged one? What's up, Les? There it is. So hopefully we're taking these down in the first round here. We are. Balana slapping on the hull breach. Bam, taking it down before it gets the chance to do its thing. Harrison being tier 2 certainly helps with that a little bit, so even more damage is making it through and not getting mitigated by their shields. But these guys are worth 15 points apiece for your field training. 55, 67. Yeah, they're worth 15 points apiece. So if you're trying to finish these up, get this done, get these extra ship parts and credits and officer shards and things to do your progression, this is probably, if you can do this, if you have the capability of doing this, this would be the more effective way of doing it.